Say it.
We live.
Yeah, we live.
Yeah.
What it do? Snackers, snackettes, snack X's. It's your boy Gage. Sin and Jokes in the building with me. Say what up, fellas.
What up?
We got a special guest with us today. H.
Hey.
Bishop
What's up?
Cosplay. Listen, how many names do you have, H? Like what's the how many names?
Let me think. Well, let's see. There's my government name, Harry. Then there's just H. And for those who don't know what H is, whatever the first letter of my name is, if you pronounce it, that's H.
Exactly. What's up,
Bishop
Ellis?
Cosplay, which is my cosplay name.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow me on Xbox Live, it's Dreaded H.
The dreaded H. My man. My man Ellis, look, Ellis Mbe in the chat said Black Superman is here. What's up? What up, Ellis? Hey, listen, Ellis got something special in the mail today. You know what I mean? Got that replica shield. That thing showed up. J. Robert Deans, what's up? How are you?
Hey.
Yeah. So Ty, what's up, man? Ty said, "What up, H?"
What up, bro?
So check this out. So H, man, H and I go, I don't even know how many years back, but a large number of them, back to when I had children that were children. Jay Mills, what's going on, man? Yeah, back to when my children were children, and and then we just started bumping into each other at cons and all of that jazz. So over that time, you know, just came to find out. G Rich, what's up, Greg? J. Robert Dean says, "Nice to see you, H. He's an admirer of your work." Here, sir. That's what's up.
What's up, bro?
Listen, no bad talking about Superman today. Keep that talk to yourself and respect too. So let me just hold on. All right, listen, Ellis. Let me start with it's Sin that's the one that really has issues with Superman, not me. So I like feel him on most of his feelings about Superman. Okay. and it's Batman that I tend to badmouth. You know what I mean? Superman, I like leave alone until you bring him up. So let's not leave him.
And then it's war.
I mean, like, don't bring him up.
It's always on site when it comes to suits.
That's a fact. Like Sin can't help itself. So listen, again, we're trying to do things a little bit different this month. We want to have the opportunity to highlight some Black creators as we're doing the show. At least for Loading Snacks Weekly. And H was actually the first person I talked to. We talked like a month ago about getting this set up and trying to make sure that we can make it happen. There's a couple reasons why we weren't positive we can make it happen. But here's one thing. One, I know you had to talk to the wife today to kind of rearrange some things because y'all was supposed to have date night. So my man canceled date night, got permission to cancel date night. He ain't canceled. He got permission to move date night so he could be here with us. So that's very important.
That's awesome.
Yes, it is.
Greatly appreciated.
Technically, we split because we did our little things a little bit early because she knew, like, you know, babe, I'm gonna hang out with B. Let me break it down real quick.
Okay.
So our wedding day was 10/10/10, October 10th, 2010. So every month on the 10th, we all, you know, we try to get together and do something. But you know, there's this pandemic or something going on.
Oh yeah,
that thing.
Oh yeah, that.
So you know, we tend to, you know, do things at home. So we had already done a little bit of things. So I was like, well, hey, you know, I want to, you know, still chill with my boys this evening. Are you okay with that? She was like, sure. And then we'll just do our thing a little bit early. You know, all we really did was just binge watch a little bit of Star Trek. We got that done.
Nothing wrong with that.
Here I am. So yeah.
Well, here's the thing, J. Robert Dean. J. Robert Dean says date night on Valentine's week. Wow. Well, here's the thing. Valentine's Day is also H's birthday.
Yeah.
So happy early birthday.
Happy birthday, brother.
And for real, happy Valentine's Day, bro.
Hey,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, we all love each other here. Okay, so a couple of things. Let me respond to the chat real quick. Okay. Marcus agrees with Sin. Superman's flute. I'm all right with that. Ty is hurt. He doesn't like it.
He'll get over
In
it.
his feelings.
That's typical the same, so that's cool.
He'll get over it. He
He'll get
said,
over it.
you and Sin break my heart. I apologize for doing that. Valentine's week. So sorry.
I'm sorry.
I
don't when it comes to Superman. I'm sorry, I don't.
Listen, Ellis said, all I know is that Harry's in the building and we wouldn't want a shirt rip. Is that what you said?
That is definitely what he said. He definitely
Is that
said
what you
that.
said? Yes, Marcus. I mean, technically, this is a new Spider-Man pillow, but I've had it. I got this for Christmas. My oldest daughter got me that for Christmas, so I've had it for a little while now. A lot of people saying happy birthday in the chat. Ace, talk to me a little bit about how you got involved in cosplay. I know you do the photography thing, also do the cosplay thing. Talk to me a little bit about how you got involved in cosplay and how it like grew to what it is.
My enabler is upstairs.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So what had happened was one year, I think it was about 2006, 2007. I had been out like comic books for like the longest of times. I was just starting to kind of get back in with things because I think it was right before Secret Invasion had started. One of my boys was like, he had always been trying to push a book back in my hand, like, bro, you need to read this. I was like, I don't know. But also at the same time, too, my wife, we were still dating at the time. She was trying to get me to dress up for Halloween. And I was like, people still, like, do stuff for Halloween? She was like, yeah, you know, if you got a costume or if you want to do something, I can make it for you. And I'm like,
okay.
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 All right, let's see where this goes.
Okay.
So I started off with something simple. I said, well, you know what? I like that long jacket that Neo had in Matrix 2. I said, I'll tell you what, just let me start with something simple. Let me just get that jacket and we'll make it work. You know, I didn't think it was a big deal. I mean, at that time, I was still in my 30s. I was like, yeah, I don't know grown people be dressing up like that. And also where I was working at the time, too, they was having a Halloween contest. So we went out that weekend. We went to a little party, got a lot of compliments. Oh, and mind you, that jacket came out bomb.
I'm sure it did.
I didn't realize Gina had skills like that, but that jacket came
Right.
out bomb. I was like,
Right.
okay, she hooked it up. I went to work, won first prize in a little contest that they had because everybody else was doing the little cat ears or they go to Jersey calling themselves a football fan. No, I came in a full blown costume.
Mm-hmm.
Still didn't like really think about cosplay like that, right? I was like, okay, yeah, that was Halloween.
Right.
So later that summer, again, my boy's still trying to push Secret Invasion. You gotta be, you need to read. So I started reading Secret Invasion. I was like, this shit's like that.
Right.
And that was one of the things that really prompted me to get back in comic books. Also at the time too, Gina had bought me like a whole bunch of graphic novels for something else, and I started reading that, and then I was like, I'm hooked again. I'm getting back into it, and I'm just mind blown. Like, wow, comic books got deep.
Sure.
They've gotten deep. So one of my buddies was telling me, like, well, yeah, they have like a comic convention in Baltimore. Really? And then I was like, well, I don't doubt that because, I always see these people going, at that time, Otakon. Every summer, around August, you see all these people in these costumes. I never really paid attention to it. I just saw them. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to go to Baltimore Comic Con because I think this is amazing. This is really cool. Oh, hey, Brian Michael Bendis, the guy that wrote Secret Invasion, is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. So I go, and my mind is blown because I'm seeing all these grown ass adults walking around in costumes. I saw people dressed up as Jedi. I saw this guy doing a costume from the V series from the 80s. For anybody that knows Fred Holt, that was the
hold on a second. Hey, Jokes.
Yo.
There used to be this show in the 80s called V.
I knew he was gonna do that. I knew he was gonna do this.
And it was like aliens, like these lizard-like aliens that was like hiding under human skin.
Okay.
I just want you to know what he's talking about.
Appreciate.
I know you wasn't born when that happened, so I'm just.
I mean, I was in the area. I don't think I was born in the.
It was in the area. How do you be in the area when you're not born yet?
Like, about you when V came out, bro. They tried to they tried to go back at it like a few, not that long ago. It's not even really. Yeah. Ellis, you're right. Go ahead, my man, get on the wiki page and just find out what V is for real. It's not V for Vendetta.
I know it's not that V.
They did
real quick. Greg Richardson said that your photography and cosplay is dope. So just want to make sure I get that. You know what I'm saying, that you get that compliment in there. Cuddy, two things. One, he said his post already established Soups is fluke. I'm with it. Y'all had that fight in the comments if you want to. Also, Cuddy, I know you got a heist set up, and we might have to jump on that tonight. We'll talk about that later. J. Robert Dean said, I hope you didn't see Tarzan when he was. Hey, listen.
Yes, I did.
I was getting ready to say
we will come to that. Hold on. We will come to that. I know exactly what he's talking about.
Oh no.
Oh hey, boy.
Ty, you loved V? I dig that. That joint scared me when I was little. I wasn't about it. I'm gonna keep it. Yeah.
Come back to it for anybody that knows Fred Holt. Mm-hmm. And mind you, Fred, if anybody go to Fred Holt's page, look at that brother. You will not believe that brother is pushing mid-60s, pushing 70s.
Oh yeah. But
when I saw Fred down there, and Fred was doing Blade at the time. He was doing Blade. I ain't no front.
He still doesn't mean Blade.
I had a couple of jokes until I saw him up close. I was like, and Fred and a couple other people I said, you know what? When I come back here next year, I want a costume.
Gotta do that.
So I came back home. I showed Gina the pictures. I said, Gina.
Gina didn't go with you to this.
No, first go around now.
Oh,
because I didn't know if I was gonna like it.
Right.
I didn't know if I was gonna like it, but I went. I came back in a state of shock and happiness. I said, "There's a place for us.
We belong somewhere." Yeah.
Because you always hear about San Diego Comic Con, which is like the biggest thing in the summer, and New York Comic Con, which is like the biggest and last thing in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I was just blown by this. So next year we made it a point. I did a Sith Lord. Gina did a Jedi Knight. I brought my boy Wendell in it. I enabled Wendell.
Did you start that? That was your fault?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And as they say, the rest is history from there. It's just like, we just took it, we ran with it. And then the bigger thing too was, of course, when I got into this and everything, there still wasn't like a large Black presence of cosplayers.
Right.
At not just this con, but some of the cons I started going to, and I started seeing that more of us were coming out of the woodwork, because eventually it's when I ran across my boy Mike Mason, Eric Moran, and a couple other people, which really started making the whole cosplay thing a little bit bigger as it was going.
Yeah.
And then the one thing we all decided to get our influence on, we just wasn't going to the cons to cosplay. It's like, well, we need to get in a little bit deeper. We need to start judging some of the contests, because a lot of the things we were seeing cosplayers who were putting together these well thought out costumes, but they weren't getting the recognition. They weren't getting that shine. Yeah. And then also, this is when we started hearing about your Ivy Doom kitties, Jessica Negris, and Yaya Han.
All the really big, the really the ones who are outside. They started doing like a lot of those makeup shows and things like that,
right?
That were hitting sci-fi and that kind of thing, and some of those names were really starting to populate, technically outside of regular pop culture. Like they were starting to hit in places you wouldn't normally see them. So
right. Because the biggest thing about them, and I'm putting special attention on Yaya Han, is the fact that they were taking cosplay and they were really making a business out of it. They weren't just doing cosplay. Yaya, she does patterns now. So that way, if you want something specific that you want to make, there's a pattern for it. She's doing materials, because that's the thing. It's like, what I'm seeing now is a lot of people, they want to get cos famous, but a lot of these people don't want to put in the work. They want to put in a sexy picture online, male or female.
Sure.
So I don't want to sit up there and try to flame and think I'm talking about women. I'm talking about some of the guys too. You got a lot of people, period, across the board. They think if they put a sexy picture out there, that's going to blow them up. No, it takes.
I mean, it might work for them in a different community,
right? In a short run.
Sure.
And in a short run, but there's.
Let me run something past you, H, because we talked about this a little last week.
Right.
But because none of us actually cosplay, I just kind of want to get your perspective on it. So one of the things we talked about last week was how we saw that Japan is considering putting laws into place that would actually consider it copyright infringement for some of these cosplayers that are bringing home like $90,000 a month, you know what I mean, and stuff like that, by cosplaying other people's
work,
creation. As a person who cosplays, how do you feel about that? Where do you stand on that?
It's a two-way street with that, because I feel like on one hand, we, in its right form, we are doing homage to a lot of these characters out there that we know and love by taking our sweat and energy, our time, our money to bring these characters to life.
Sure.
And letting others out there see our works. Every time somebody does a Superman, a Captain America, a Wonder Woman, Storm, Black Panther, it's taking something that we never saw when we were coming up and bringing it to life. I can't tell you how many times I've been to a con and I saw a kid who came up to me and was just happy to see, hey, he's dressed as Superman. You're Superman.
Right.
You don't look like Superman. You're not a guy dressed as Superman. You are.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But the problem comes in where, when you got people out there that are making money off of these things, and if I really want to go deep, when you got people that are making money off of other people's creations, and at the same time, at some point, you find out some of them got problematic backgrounds, it becomes an issue of how the original creators or the company that owns the likenesses to those images get some kind of recourse when these things happen. Because again, on the other hand, yeah, you know, you got someone like Yahya Han. She's traveling across the planet.
Yeah.
She's doing all these characters. She's done characters from Assassin's Creed, and Marvel creations, DC creations. Yeah, she that's how
Games,
she
comics,
makes an income.
anime. She's doing it all.
Right. Every
Yeah.
character she does, she's making an income off of. Right. Every character I do, I ain't gonna front. At some point, I made some kind of income off of it as well. But,
Sure.
But at the same time, the person that created it or the company that owns that creation, they're not seeing any of it back.
Right.
So it's hard to say whether or not they should or they shouldn't, because I look at it like this: for the little bit of chump change I make off of like if I get hired. Matter of fact, full disclosure.
Okay.
The CW company here in DC.
Yeah.
Has hired me to come out as Black Lightning.
Black Lightning. Yeah.
Some of their to some of their events to promote.
Right.
That little bit of chump change that goes in my pocket, Warner Brother will never miss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Well, I mean, but you know what? But here's the thing: in a situation like that, right? CW is an offshoot of Warner Brothers owns them,
right?
And therefore, technically, that means that in some way Warner Brothers is paying you.
Right.
For the work that you did, and they are also using you to promote their show. That is bringing them money. You know what I'm saying? So rather than try to pay the actor to go appear somewhere, you know what I mean, or whatever, which would absolutely cost them more, it's more beneficial for them, for somebody like you who has an incredible, Black Lightning cosplay, to say he's here, he's local, let's pull him in. And let's pay him, and we, you know, we're gonna do some promotion. Like that's different. And technically, it does mean that company is paying for you, and they own it.
And by proxy,
hey,
everybody else that goes out there and cosplay it as well. Anybody that goes cosplay the character, they're advocating for the company. Now, whether or not they're making income off of it and everything, that's a whole nother story. But see, what I find fascinating as well. Hey,
listen, let me just tell you that Ellis did vow to snitch if he saw people doing it, but he like, now I'm torn because I like Harry. and you know what, though? Ellis, man, listen, let Harry get his money, man. You know what I mean? Let my man do his thing. Leah, it's good to see you. Hey, listen, real quick.
Here's the thing,
anybody else who's in the chat, if y'all don't follow Leah, who's in there. Leah also shoots some great photography, just like H does. I just want y'all to know, man. Y'all go follow Leah's photography as well. Y'all need to do that. And I do want you to take a moment to. We're gonna talk about the Geek Spot. We are gonna talk about that.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
Okay.
Look at what Warner Brothers by way of DC Comics did last year with their Fan Fest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They asked for submissions of cosplays, and thousands of people submitted their cosplays. They got it displayed. So the thing of it is, the companies know what they're doing. They know what the companies knows what's going on, and they got to figure out how to promote it now. To come all the way back to the original question with what Japan
you got a job to do, Jokes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to
say. I see you looking, but I don't see you moving.
Hey, my hand's moving over here. You don't see my hand moving. My hand's moving over here.
Nah, you probably have practice at that, hiding your hand moving. I don't want to know. Listen.
Stop it.
Hey.
I hate all of you.
Welcome to the show, Harry.
I had to.
Technically, you know this ain't my first video with these guys, so these things are to be expected.
Yeah, you know. Listen,
but to come all the way back around though, real quick.
Yeah.
If Japan decides that they want to start creating, and it has to be international laws, mind you, because
it doesn't have to be, but at some point you would think, they
have to find a way to do it where it doesn't hurt them, because the problem is, one, they put out so many anime a year, it's hard to keep up.
True.
One. Mm-hmm. Two, there's so many fandoms within those anime, it's hard to keep up.
Right.
Two, And 3, even for their more popular, let's just say, for instance, My Hero Academia, which is one of their most well-known, along with your Dragon Balls and all that stuff. How is it hurting them and their economy if someone is out there making income? That's the question that has to be answered, and that's the thing that they have to square if they want to throw out an international law that says, well, hey, I'm going to put a lock on someone going out there and doing a Deku costume and possibly pulling down, say, $5,000 at an event. Right.
Here's what I'll say. It seemed to me, I mean, the people that they pointed at for this were making like $90,000 a month. Like that ain't no. Yeah. That's not chump change. Like they were making.
Doing this wrong then. If
yes, you're doing it very wrong.
A month,
well, I'm gonna be honest. As much as I like, you're not quite as attractive as some of them are.
That was stupid.
Okay, listen. A couple of things. One, Leah's account is up in the chat, so anybody who wants to go follow her, you can do so. We will get. H has a couple of accounts, so we're gonna have to get all of his stuff in there.
I'll do some working while
we. So Greg, you asked who is Leah. Leah is, you would not know who Leah is, but she is often in the chat with us. Mm-hmm. She just happens to be a good friend of ours who is a very awesome photographer, in person. And you should absolutely check out her work. So, J. Robert Dean said it reminds him of when CW hired Wes as Green Arrow for All-Star. And you're right. It's the same thing. Like we talked to that team at CW while we were there. And so you're absolutely right. Like they're not going after him for continuing to do it later. As a matter of fact, they wanted him because he was already doing it.
Because
he was already doing it.
Wes in, and then Wes asked me about it.
Kamshamnida. That's a little Korean. That was a little thank you. I got you, Leah. I know what that is.
He got that one.
I know what that is. I know a little. I know that
Korean. One. I left the day. I know that one. Like
he knows a little something about some things.
Yep. So Harry's Bishop Cosplay Facebook page is up there, as well as Eyes of H, which is his photography page. We're gonna talk a little bit about photography later too, and at the end we're gonna talk a little about the Geek Spot because we need to do that. But we want to talk about a little news, okay? So let me just start with: did everybody see the Falcon and Winter Soldier Super Bowl spot?
Yes, sir.
And then did you go and actually watch it on their YouTube so you can see the whole thing?
I need to finish watching the whole thing. I watched bits and pieces of it the other day.
Okay. I went just straight to YouTube in the morning and just
watched it. Quality. So I was straight there.
Yeah, I went straight to YouTube, blew it up on the TV. Like, nope, let's just whole thing. Let's go.
Before we do that, because we're gonna, did anybody go online and watch the international version of the Godzilla King Kong trailer?
I didn't get to watch it, but I know the one thing that happened in there that was worth
seeing.
I'm the only person who got to see Godzilla Pimp Smack.
I saw the slap.
I've seen the slap, but I didn't watch the actual trailer. Yeah.
All I need is the slap.
Hey, listen. Slap the monkey fur off that man, bro. Put my man in the ocean, bro.
This gonna be a wreck.
He was over here talking trash like, hey, King Kong slug Godzilla flew. Nah, bro.
Bam, with the pimp hand strong.
Put the T-Rex paws on Slim. Like, you're not supposed to get pimp smacked by the T-Rex paws.
By the little joints.
Like, what's going on? I don't understand. Marcus said, screw King Kong. Why you hate King Kong, man? Why you hate King Kong, man? All King Kong was all he wanted was a lady and to be left alone.
Hey, that is true.
I want a lady and be left alone.
Oh, I need to stop.
I just want to hear her say something naked.
So listen, Leah says so much eye candy in that Falcon and Winter Soldier. You absolutely right. Let's talk about it. Falcon and Winter Soldier. All right, so Sin, you saw it. H, you saw parts of it. Jokes, you saw it.
I did.
Overall impressions of the trailer.
Solid.
Man, 19th can't get here quick enough.
Oh, solid.
Can I tell you something? What date can't get here quick enough?
The 19th.
The 19th. That's what day Falcon and Winter Soldier starts. So it's going to be like almost right after WandaVision ends, right?
Cool.
Mhm.
So they're not really giving us any breathing room.
I'm good with that.
Listen, and I me too.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
have a question for y'all. Why do you think they moved it to that date? I feel like that's earlier than it was originally
I
supposed
think
to be.
so.
Because it was supposed to be March.
I'm thinking maybe the build up, everything going on with WandaVision, like just the train this thing is on, like the way it's
Hey,
probably gonna end.
That's what I was
they're
gonna say.
like, yeah,
I think WandaVision is gonna give us some crazy ending. We're not gonna get an answer to whatever it is, and that's just gonna go on the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Hey,
like they
listen,
need to give us something right after this, after not having
I
anything
think-
for a year. Like let's just kind of just roll them out right now.
And that's kind of what I think is going on. Is I think Disney and Marvel, they wanted to test the waters first to make sure that this Disney Plus thing was going to take off.
Mhm.
So with the Mandalorian and everything else, they've proven that it's going to take off. It's taken off. So since right now we're still not getting much in the way of like being able to go to the movie theaters and stuff, it's like Marvel and Disney, they're just giving us that slow drip. It's like literally you got an IV attached to your arm. They've given you the Mandalorian season 2. We loved it. We ate it all up. We can't wait for next year. As soon as we caught our breath, okay, we're going to give you that WandaVision that you wanted. And, you know, we sat around on first 2 weeks like, oh. And then last week, like, oh. And now that you're hooked, now that we got you, we're going to give you the next thing. We're going to
keep you.
Right. We're going to give you
Hey,
the
listen.
You
Hold
got
on.
this shit
Hey,
for a
Ellis.
year.
Relax, bro. Hey, listen. Hey, Ellis, if you show up in WandaVision,
No.
bro, I quit.
It's a wrap. It's a
I
wrap.
quit. So listen, listen. So the chat is going off right now. Okay, so let me start with this. Mike Slade, what up? Appreciate you being in the chat. Mike Slade and J. Robert Deans both said the same thing I'm thinking, which is that this joint's dropping the day after the Snyder Cut.
Mhm.
And I think they just like,
I
Hey,
just
bro.
I didn't realize it was that.
That sounds good. Yeah,
we can't let them. We just can't let them. We just
Drop
can't.
it.
We just, yeah, like we
You
just
throw
can't.
that little month in a week
like,
or whatever.
look,
Like, nah, we just gonna
DC
drop right here.
can have their 4 hours, but then we're gonna just wreak havoc afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a lot of days after that. Slade also asked if we talked about the Last of Us news. I didn't see any Last of Us news. Slade, feel free to drop it in there. I missed it if it happened today. But I just got off.
They casted Ellie's character.
Did they?
Yes,
Who?
they did. Let me
Apparently-
get from Game of
Apparently,
Thrones.
according to J. Robert Deans, he said they drop on the same day.
Snyder Cut says the 18th. That's what I saw. Snyder Cut on the 18th, and Falcon and Winter Soldier on the 19th.
So
I saw them a day apart.
So basically, HBO and Disney Plus are just trading blows now.
They fighting.
Yeah, I got the
Ain't
18th for Snyder
ain't
Cut.
nobody worried about no Snyder Cut.
My
I
man Marcus-
disagree.
My man Marcus, it's about sending a message.
It is about sending a message.
Well, you know what? If you want to go on that bit, then yeah, sure. You're gonna have those people out there that are actually going to take the time and give up 4 hours of their life, go back and rewatch something that we probably should have gotten the first damn time. But then at the same
Listen,
time,
let me just.
Marvel is sitting back. Hold on. Marvel is sitting back like, okay, yeah, y'all can go watch that little Superman
Mhm.
Justice League joint, but we're gonna give you some fresh shit.
I mean, hey, listen. Here's where I'm at. There's no doubt in my mind that the 4-hour version of Justice League will be better than the 2-hour version we got.
Right.
It can't be worse. It
Well.
can't be. Listen, it can't be worse because that joint is so bad that it can't be worse. However, there's no doubt in my mind it will be better. What that does not mean to me is that it will be good.
Right.
It being better than what already came does not mean it will be good. That's just period. That's on everything.
You have a bad smelling turd. You have a less bad smelling turd. This turd is better than the other turd, but they're both still turds at the end of the day.
I mean, one is longer than the other is all that we know right now. You know what I
This
mean?
turd-
Like,
this turd is just longer.
and that goes for both analogies. Like it's just it worked. Yeah, he said it was originally set for the 19th. Maybe they bumped it a day
Possibly.
or something like that. But and listen, that you think that Jared Leto Joker looks amazing? Does he? I mean, does he look more amazing than he looked when we did see him.
I mean,
last
I don't want to say it's amazing. I'm just interested to see because it's from what I'm understanding that Joker is just apparently in the nightmare scene with Batman. So I'm eager to see what they do. But like, he doesn't have the tattoos or nothing like that, and he has like longer hair.
Hold on, Ellis.
Uh-oh.
Get out of the comments.
Uh-oh.
We don't do Batfleck around here. Get out of the comments.
Hey, I don't necessarily have an issue with Batfleck. I don't have a problem with Batfleck.
I don't have a problem with Batfleck.
I do.
I need it more, and I just hate it what they did with Batfleck. Batfleck became comedy relief for the damn movie. I hated that. Ow.
We all hated that.
That hurt.
There hasn't been a decent live action Batman since Keaton. And that's on everything.
Yeah,
Fight me if you want to.
You
I already know how I feel
Bale.
about the Nolan choice. I'm already in there. Somebody asked, how could it be? Listen, you could have 4 hours of bad cinematography. Listen, I don't like any of Snyder's work. He has like maybe one movie I actually like. I don't like his work anyway, so I'm already expecting the joint to be bad. But Justice League was so bad that at least this has the opportunity to make it make sense and to add in things we didn't get to see that we probably should have seen and that I would want to see. Like there has to be at least some moments that are redeemable. You know what I mean? That are in there. And I will be more upset though if I sit down for 4 hours and it's not at least as good as
not at least better.
Well, no, I mean I still look at the idea that
Keith Sweat.
Going back and doing the same thing.
I don't know. I'm lost.
I don't know. I don't
I'm lost. I don't know.
I'm still looking at the idea that you're doing pretty much the same thing that you did with Superman versus Batman. It's like, okay, you already fed us one bad movie, and then you had to go back and retool it. It's this philosophy almost goes the same way like with video games. Once a video game comes out and it's bad forever. No matter how much tinkering around and fixing that you do, it's hard to take. There are very few movies that you can go back and extend and make it better. Lord of the Rings, in my opinion, Lord of the Rings, sure, you can go back and but for me, Lord of the Rings wasn't bad.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
correct. That's what I'm saying. Like it wasn't
bad. I was actually happy. Like, oh, you're giving me more. I'm good for it. But for
that's where that was going.
But for Superman and for Superman versus Batman and Justice League, I could care less about them. And just because you're making it two added extra hours, no, no. I watch it to say I watched it, but I sincerely doubt I'm gonna come back and say, oh my God, this is better. No, it's just longer. It's more the same.
I'm with that. Zack Snyder doesn't understand the concept of hero. I'm with that. J. Robert Deans, I'm okay with that. Hey, listen, if Keith Sweat was Batman, that would be entertaining.
Why?
Hey, listen, man. Oh, I can't. Like, it would be entertaining.
Martha.
Oh, good God.
I mean, she might treadmill run more. If Flash is still so slow that he can trip while he's running, like I'm not. This whole thing is not.
All that extra super speed.
I do want to see some more Cyborg. Like, I hope that actually turns out well. And like all of what's been going on with Ray Fisher and like Joss Whedon and all the stuff that's been happening there. Like I'm
scared.
Honestly. You know, I saw an article today that there are like more people that are like at least one other person is coming back and kind of supporting him and saying like, nah, like Slim's terrible. You know what I mean? On set or whatever. Like I feel that. I hope that all pans out. Look, I think realistically that Snyder Cut is going to be worth watching. There's no
doubt not paying to go see it in the movies.
I would never go see that joint in the movies. Never.
I will not pay to see it again.
But listen, but coming to HBO Max makes things different. Mm-hmm. It does. It makes it different. So like I got HBO Max already. I'm just gonna sit down and watch it. Now listen, realistically, if I get like 45 minutes in and I'm upset, I'll probably just turn it off. I won't because I'm gonna need to talk about it.
You have the option to do that, and you don't feel bad for doing it.
I mean, you can walk out of a theater if you want to.
Money back.
Ella said, "I'm telling you, if we get Golden Armor Wonder Woman, all she has to do is recant her wish." Listen.
No, we don't need that.
I don't think there's anything that Wonder Woman will. Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
That's a rabbit hole. That's a rabbit hole that will.
I'm excited about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I'm excited about Zemo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super interested in the fact that they're like walking around together. Like you see them in the trailer walking around with Zemo. Like
yeah,
like they're cool.
Like what is going on here right now?
I don't know. I don't understand. So I'm with that. KB said 45 minutes probably only gonna give you 20 minutes of new footage. Watch it. I mean, and listen, and you might be right.
Mm-hmm.
I might say that I'm excited about The Last of Us. I'm not excited about The Last of Us, but I will absolutely give that a chance. I'm already much more excited about that cast than I am about anything happening in a new Justice in another Justice League. You know?
I can agree with that.
I paid for extra time to watch through all the WB cartoons and Criterion films. Jail. I mean,
here's a question. Though.
It's a bonus for you, like an unannounced colonoscopy.
I'll take the colonoscopy right about now.
Unannounced one?
At least I can sleep through the colonoscopy.
I know.
You can't sleep through the colonoscopy. You kind of have to pay attention to the Justice League. If you sleep in the Justice League, then it, you know.
Oh well.
But let's report HBO Max.
My question still is though, for the money that they spent for this recut, couldn't they have just done another movie?
Absolutely.
They could have.
Absolutely.
I mean, because you already left us with the cliffhanger. Yeah. You got rid of Steppenwolf, so we're waiting on Darkseid. So why not just?
They just gonna throw Darkseid all in this.
I think the first one was so bad.
With DC has never known how to properly map out. Even after Marvel has shown us how you properly map out your universe, they still will not take that formula. It's like, fuck, we're just going to crib off of Marvel's note and just do the same thing. The energy that they're wasting right now with this Snyder cut, they could easily have gone back and started making a couple of shows. They do well in the animated department.
I was going to say,
could take like a lot of animated things and like, well, shit, we could take some animated series and make them canon and build up towards the next movie. Or we could take some of the stuff that we've been throwing on the CW and start trying to build that universe towards another movie. It's like you have so many mediums.
CW stuff.
Right in front of you that you take advantage of.
I think that the justification. I think there are a couple of things that are happening with the justification of doing the Snyder Cut. One, people are absolutely nuts about the Snyder Cut on Twitter. Like the internet is nuts about it, and people feel like that movie was unjustly, unfairly judged by the release that it got because Joss Whedon.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are a couple of things there. One, I think that Warner Brothers or HBO is convinced that this is going to bring in many new viewers to their streaming service, and they want/need that. Two, I think that they feel like, or possibly they do, owe Snyder in some way an option or something because of the circumstances under which he left during the film because of his child's suicide, which is an extremely, extremely sad circumstance to have something like that happen, right? And to have your name be on something that people talk about the way they talk about when you're already dealing with something that is as difficult and as bad as that is. You know, there were probably some conversations that were had that said, you know what, we're going to do this. We have the footage, right? So let's put it in there, but we know we need to fix it up and make some things happen to it. Let's put some extra money into it and make it happen. They have to believe that the money that they're spending to do that will bring people in. And you know, I'm convinced that there's something in there. Let's see. Mike Slade says, okay, so Greg says with COVID, the Snyder Cut makes sense. Maybe. Slade says, bro, you give anyone a blank check and 3 to 4 extra years to edit any movie and it will be better than the original except Star Wars re-releases. Stop touching it. Agreed. Like, again, that's the other thing. If this joint is not as good, okay, but understand something about what the price of admission for this is. The amount of money that they're spending to do this isn't like doing it and then re-releasing it to the theater.
Right.
It's not. It's not. because it's all on their service. And if they can bring in people, if people stay, the amount of money they're making, they have HBO Plus has 84 million subscribers, something in that realm. So the amount of money that they're making on a monthly, you know what I mean, residual, plus whoever they manage to bring in as they continue to ramp up, you know what I mean, the marketing and whatever, get the real version of the film, get the Snyder Cut version of the film, get the 4-hour version of the film, and stay for all these other things, right? Come for the cut. There's a reason why they release stuff like that in the middle of the month.
Yeah, because they're going to get you in there.
They do it in the middle of the month.
At least, for Batman animated series, which is now there.
You know what I'm saying? Let's see. J. Robert Dean says they'll also recoup a lot of this with DVD or Blu-ray sales in 3 months. I don't know about that, but they might get digital sales. They might.
They will get digital sales.
If it does well, they'll get the digital sales.
Yeah, right.
I'm still not sure when they're gonna make Wonder Woman available to purchase digitally. One of the things that we haven't gotten from them in this whole thing that HBO talked about with releasing the movies day and date with the theater is, even though that's only for 30 days on HBO Max,
what happens after that 30 days?
Then when does it become available to actually purchase? J. Robert
Voodoo for the win.
Says they're finally going in the right direction now. In my opinion, they are embracing the multiverse. That's DC's thing. They can't structure the movie universe like Marvel. It's way too late for that. To an extent, you're right. And the fact that they're doing multiverse is probably smarter to allow them to just be like, yeah, nah, the Batfleck thing is a real thing. The Pattinson thing is a real thing. Yeah. This Wonder Woman thing is a real thing. So, like, we just making movies, y'all. Come see whatever y'all want to see. We don't even care if you're confused. It don't even matter anymore. It don't have to make sense. We just doing stuff.
That's directed. Which one of the DC characters do you want? Like, oh yeah, I want Batman. You can have your Batman. Go ahead, run with it.
Which Batman do you want?
Exactly. We got all the Batmans exist. The multiverse exists. All them joints are real. They all real Batmans. Only one of them's a good Bruce Wayne. J. Robert Dean, I saw that Voodoo was bought by Fandango. I think that's going to be super interesting. Hey, listen. I'm not buying trash, Ellis. I'm just wondering when they're going to make it available because I want to know at some point that we're only releasing it to HBO Max for 30 days thing has to go away. They got to put it back on the service, right? And if they do that, are they doing that at the same time they release it to everybody else who doesn't have HBO Max? Are they still trying to force you to get HBO Max before they allow you to go and buy it somewhere else? Like, those things are still that are questions that need to be answered in terms of how they're going to use this to bring people into the streaming service and keep them.
Right.
Ty says, I like the idea of different directions for characters by different directors. Everybody likes different versions of the DC characters anyway. Listen, everybody is a long stretch, bro. There are people who like different versions of the characters in the comic books who read comic books. But you have to bear in mind that the audience for going and watching movies isn't about the people who go and read comic books.
Yeah, it's not the same crowd.
It's not. I mean, those people are in the crowd. But you got it, like, WandaVision is great for people who don't read comic books at all, but have seen the majority of the MCU films. But even if you haven't, if you saw like the last 5 or 6, you're good. Because she wasn't even there before that. Right. And neither was he. Right. So you don't need any of that. This is a great way to bring people in, and then the other movies are already there on the service, and now you can go and watch them.
Go back and watch them, yeah.
Right? But if you watch the Snyder Cut and you see Affleck as Batman, why does that make you want to go watch any other Batman that has somebody else in it? It doesn't. Right. There's nothing about that says, oh, you should go watch these other things. Now, Jared Leto as Joker, you might go watch Suicide Squad.
Right.
Maybe.
No, I get what he's saying, yeah. Like, the option is at least there with him, that you can go to the service and watch something of that same actor and same character.
You're right. You could go, but now you can go watch something that has a different person playing that character. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't. No, I don't want to watch Wonder Woman again. Ellis, relax. I told you to get out of the comments. Why? What is going on here? Batman?
It's Batman again, though.
It can.
Oh man.
I would have blown that whole comment.
Babyface will make a dope Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean? You got that bad appeal.
No. He get his ass whooped.
He would. You know what I mean? But he back.
Him talking trash in the dark alley.
Max. But listen, on that same note, right? HBO Max announced that they're doing like a bunch of new series. They just greenlit a bunch of adult animated shows, including an origin story for Velma.
Wait, I'm sorry. Origin story for what?
For Velma
from Scooby-Doo. And this is an adult cartoon. Listen.
Yes.
Listen. 10 episodes. Produced by Mindy Kaling. It's probably gonna be fire, bro.
It probably is.
Because the way the cosplay community treats Velma.
Yeah.
Jinkies is a thing, bro.
Oh, yes, sir.
What? The thing of it is,
adult origin story for Velma. Yes, bro.
If you like the Harley Quinn joint, then yeah.
I mean,
there's an audience out there for it. If you like the Harley Quinn joint, sure.
Hey, that's your fire. I'm with it. Let's just recast as Batman. His version of the joint. Pull Prince off the soundtrack. You know what I mean? Jimmy, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Yes, Velma in her orange outfit, losing her glasses, screaming Jinkies. Cosplay community is all over Velma. Yep. They give Velma way more play than they give Daphne.
Mm-hmm.
She the hottest thing moving. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. So here's the thing. I think this is the dumbest idea I've ever heard, and I'm so in. I'm so in.
That's the
only way I can put it.
Velma getting an origin story at all, dog? Who is she? Like an origin story?
I don't get it. Like
listen, R. Kelly is a bad idea. We're not casting
Michael Jackson gonna be Joker.
Michael Jackson could be the Joker. You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that. You're so wrong for that.
But it'll fit.
Oh god.
Hey, fall in the Ace chemicals and just.
Oh god. Oh my god.
Ranch. I'm saying, like he already got the sound to be Joker.
Shut up, dog. Oh man, Marcus said the thick is real. You ain't even put 2 C's, Marcus. You don't even know what you're talking about. Have 2 C's in you. Listen, I think the fact that HBO Max is like, listen, we need cartoons and things for the adults, right? We have a section, of stuff for kids. But if you look at what Cartoon Network, I guarantee you because they have a whole section that's just Adult Swim.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
On HBO Max. I guarantee you they're looking at the numbers that those joints are putting them in. Like, this is it. This is where the money is. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you don't greenlight anything like that. Paula Abdul is Catwoman. Actually, she could do some Eartha Kitt Catwoman. Like, I'm not even fighting that.
Yeah.
There you go. Yes, R. Kelly, the closet guy. That's why we not.
Yeah.
We not.
Hey,
Casey, I don't know how well this goes for them. It's going to be fun to watch, but at this point, adults are the only ones that like Scooby-Doo for real as it is. You would think they make more family oriented. Here's the thing. Let me tell you something. They keep making Scooby-Doo, like animated Scooby-Doo movies.
Yeah.
They continuously make them, and they do well. Mm-hmm. They do well amongst kids. Like, I totally don't expect you to know. But for years, even when my kids don't care, like they never have. But like, I know because I was selling DVDs. I was selling. Like, they was coming in and buying them joints left and right. Them joints sell like hotcakes. I don't understand it, but I don't understand Teletubbies. And that joint made it. I don't understand Barney. That joint made it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it worked.
Scooby-Doo is definitely popular.
Hey, Jimmy, get out of the comments, Jimmy.
I knew that was coming.
Get out of the comments.
I mean, hell, they had a crossover episode. Scooby-Doo had a crossover episode with Supernatural.
Dog, Scooby-Doo has had crossovers with so many different movie characters. Like when they did the whole thing, Scooby-Doo goes to the movies, and like they crossed with like every.
The last Scooby-Doo movie, like animated Scooby-Doo movie, that joint was not 10 years ago. Definitely not 10 years
ago.
ago.
No.
They've been doing new Scooby-Doo animated movies.
Dog, they just did two with WWE.
Like last year.
Dog, they just did like two with WWE. Like that joint just came out maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, if that.
Yeah. And Jokes bought that joint.
I did not actually. I did not.
I'm not with it. I'm not hearing you at all. I don't hear you at all.
Sure.
Yes, Scooby-Doo has been to WrestleMania. Yes, that is an absolute thing. That is a real thing.
That's a real feature
very
film.
Real thing. Yeah, man. Like I just feel like HBO Max. I mean, they making moves. They have to. They just it makes sense.
Gotta get the content on there to keep the people there.
Get the content to keep the people. You gotta have stuff.
You got
and the Snyder Cut. When they get there and they watch the Snyder Cut, and they like, this joint is dumb.
Dog, you don't see that, but you ain't start looking at all that other stuff in there
too. They got to justify booting everybody off of their regular service to pretty much compress everything into one thing. And then, of course, now they're not putting out those big series like they used to, because every other year was Sopranos or Sex and the City or Westworld or whatever. They're not putting those out anymore like they used to. Them things cost money. And then
they about to do a new Sex and the City movie. They're doing like a reunion show joint or whatever, and everybody's not gonna be in it. It's like,
but it's still, the thing of it is, it's just like with any business model. The business model has to change to fit the crowd, because if you're changing how you work, because you got to think, HBO has been and still is competing with everybody. They're competing with Netflix. They're competing with Disney. Everybody that has a streaming service now. Because remember, back in the day, HBO used to be the go-to network. You had a big movie that came out in the theaters. You knew 6 months to a year down the line, your shit was going to wind up on HBO. Mm-hmm. Everybody was going to clamor to get HBO to watch that next big thing. But when everything started changing, when it all became about video on demand and streaming and all that, HBO got left back in the dust.
So, I mean, you're right. They've had HBO now for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, but it wasn't just HBO. All those companies had to do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they all had to do it. Hey, listen, some of them old hags hot. Some of them old hags, some of them joints still got it. I'm just saying.
Some of them still get it.
You right, for free. Hey, listen, HBO content. You right, KB. HBO content was top notch for a minute, and they still have some top notch content.
They still do.
Listen, but again, keep in mind that, like, please bear in mind that HBO. Like, when we talk about Disney, a lot of times we talk about Disney because, like Marcus just said, Disney owns everything. Like, Disney has so much stuff. But they have content that spans generations.
Right.
They have family-oriented content that spans generations. There is stuff there for everybody to watch. HBO doesn't matter of fact, no streaming service has that. Like, they have stuff that is for kids to watch or is for adults to watch, but not necessarily stuff where everything on it is something all of you can watch. Nobody else has that like Disney has. And you have to be able to compete with that, right? That's a very different thing. So the idea, though, that a company like HBO, please bear in mind, owns Sesame Street.
Yep. Facts.
There's a lock they have. But here's the thing. How much cachet does Sesame Street really have amongst young people? Because I ain't heard anybody say about they on Paw Patrol. They you know what I mean? Like, they're not talking about Sesame Street. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, but they have it there. So they could do something with it if they are super smart about how they handle it. They have the like, but can they compete with the if Disney announced they doing a new Muppet Baby show, I'm all in.
But the thing of it is, but it's the crazy part, because remember, Disney's already doing the Muppets. They did that series for a while. That just wrapped up, and then they're bringing in the old Muppet show.
Yep.
Right.
What, next month? I think.
Right. Yes. They're bringing the original Muppet show.
The first time since that show went off the air in the 70s, they're bringing it. There's a service that now has that. You can go back and watch all those. They may be outdated.
Disney Plus has all the nostalgia.
They got it.
Right. Listen, you're absolutely right. No, Marcus. Animaniacs is, yes, it is a WB property. No, it is not on Disney. It is on Hulu. But Disney does have ownership in Hulu. Yes.
Yeah.
They have a majority stake in Hulu. But as do a bunch of other companies. So it's like, Yes and no, but Hulu was the right place for it. So technically, yes, it is on a Disney streaming service, sort of.
Right.
It's on a subsidiary, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we can talk stuff like Reading Rainbow and Sesame Street and all that all we want. That might bring back things for us. We might care, whatever. But realistically, yeah. Which again, we do that here sometimes because we point at jokes a lot when he doesn't understand the things we're talking about. It happens. Like KB says, Disney's selling a lot of nostalgia. There is new stuff. Ain't enough to keep you locked in day to day. They're just now starting to bring in the content. And again, that's all they needed though. Like Disney has so much content that they already own. And they have so much content that they newly own that it's just a matter of them being able to flex that and pad it out, right? And then there's plenty of stuff for you to go and watch. There is new content that's coming consistently. But here's what you got to understand. Disney is a company that has been rolling out new content that creates new fans at young ages for decades. The Disney Channel literally lives by just dropping brand new crap that none of us care about, but they love it. It don't mean nothing to me. How many of y'all know what Kicking It is? Anybody?
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
I do. I do. I don't want to, but I do. You understand what I'm saying? So like, they have this space, right? Where as a company, they have been getting people like, they have channels that are just for that. They changed ABC Family over to Freeform. Let's put stuff that's a little edgier here. Let's try some things out, right? We got Hulu. Let's try some things there. This Fox stuff we have might not quite be right for Disney Plus because we want to keep it at this age range, but we can push it to Hulu. Absolutely. You understand what I'm saying? So now, not all the X-Men stuff can come here. Deadpool, that's not Disney. Well, we can put it on Hulu. We can sell it to everybody else. Like, they have ownership over properties. Please understand that, like, Disney owns Buena Vista. And if you look at Buena Vista, this is an adult movie 4 years. But none of that stuff is going to be on Disney Plus. That's why they sell you a package that has ESPN, Hulu, and Disney Plus together.
Spread more of that content out.
That's what it is. Yeah. And that's why they sell it to you for so cheap. You get all of it in one package for a super low price. My man said, I haven't watched the actual Disney Channel in about 20 years. Let me tell you what's important about that. The fact that it was around 20 years ago. They have been creating content that made people that know Disney characters and for decades. All the kids, they know who Mickey Mouse is. Right. Even if we don't care anymore. Or we think they don't care. They know who Mickey Mouse is. The Disney Castle is probably a more important character than anybody else they have because that's the one thing
that's the logo
in front of every
that's the logo
film they see. Yeah. So when you talking Disney World, it's the castle. Oh, I know what that is. That's the castle. Whose castle is that? Cinderella's castle. Have you ever seen Cinderella? Nah, what's that? No. They just now getting ready to drop the Cinderella with Brandy in it to Disney Plus.
Okay.
That's just getting ready to happen. I mean, look. Real talk. My man said they closed Blue Sky today. And listen, what was they doing besides Ice Age?
Ice Age, that's it. Like that's Ice Age. Sorry, Sam,
they just kept doing them joints. Sorry, and here's the thing: I brought nothing of them, but they had to be making money.
Ice Age is the Fast series of Disney. I mean, honest truth. They continue that joint as long as they possibly can. Next thing you would have known, Dom would have shown up in Ice Age.
Land Before
Time. Was
that
the last movie?
You know what I'm saying?
Land Before Time was the same way as well too.
That's what I'm saying.
Damn near before I got to elementary school, I think there was already like 6 of them jumps.
But you got to look at it like this.
I was just thinking that, Ellis. I was just thinking that.
No, it was already like 6 of them jumps.
Ellis, that joint been stuck in your head for that long. Yeah, every time we driving 495, we pass the Disney Castle.
You damn Skippy. Damn Skippy.
Everybody thought that. Yeah, listen. You right. Listen, Whitney Houston bodied that joint. Brandy did her thing in that joint. I don't even care. I don't care that joint is there. But there are so many people who do.
Yep.
Just finding out that it's there. Saying that it's there it's going to be there during Black History Month. Oh, we about to get them numbers real quick.
Yep.
Let's just keep it. You know what I'm saying?
Keep it real.
Let's just keep it a buck.
It's a game.
You know what I'm saying? We announced Black Panther 2
coming out.
You know what I'm saying? And we Black History Month. Let's do it. That's smart, right?
It worked the first time. We're gonna do it the second time.
Let's drop a trailer. Black History Month. Let's do it. Like, it's all marketing. It's cool. Like, you know what I mean? But they gonna get that money.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Like, right now, there's no good reason to not have Disney Plus.
Facts. I'm already
Unless you hate Marvel that much.
You have to hate. You Ty might not want to have Disney Plus, but we flipped them.
Oh, did we?
We flipped them.
Did we?
Y'all got me reading Marvel comics.
Hey, everybody. Hey, on Mondays now, he just be hitting us. Spoiler boys.
Spoiler boys.
Where that joint at? I've been reading books.
All right.
Every Monday he be hitting us down.
Here's my question though.
What's that, H?
So what's going on with Apple TV though?
A bunch of them joints got stolen from Best Buy yesterday.
Hey. You know what's sad about Apple TV?
Pinky, you addicted to Disney Plus because they got all that nostalgia for you.
No, the Apple is trying to get me. Like, this is sad. I got the Apple TV Plus, the streaming stuff, for free. They gave it to us for the year because I bought my new device. After the year was up, I don't know how many times they extended the free jump to me. Like, the jump kept getting extended out. I still haven't had no drive to go into that jump and watch it.
Please watch this. Please.
I mean,
watch this.
Here's another 3 months.
You get that. Oh, Pinky says she's stuck on the Marvel. She in there. Listen, let me tell y'all something right now. If you have Disney Plus and you've been enjoying WandaVision or any of the live stuff, do yourself a favor. Watch Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Okay, I'm doing it tonight. I'm just gonna fall asleep with that tonight.
Listen to me. That joint might snitch a little bit on what's happening right now in WandaVision, but I'm telling you,
a little bit.
That joint is so good. That joint is easily the best thing they ever did. Definitely do that. Listen.
Samsung gang.
Appreciate that. Appreciate you watching this. I can't enunciate your name.
Go for it.
But I see 19 class at the end, so I'll throw you a little love. I appreciate that. So check this out. I think as far as Apple TV is concerned, got it, Frosty. Appreciate you. I think as far as Apple is concerned, well, hold on. Let's see what Ellis says, because Ellis know everything. So Apple is working a Prime bundling package. That 2 terabyte iCloud storage makes their service bundle absolutely worth it. I'm not mad at that.
I already got that.
I'm not mad at that at all. See, listen, here's the thing. At some point, probably sooner than later, Apple's going to realize that all they really have to do is do what Amazon's doing. See, Amazon doesn't have to really promote to you anymore because most people have Amazon Prime for the shipping. They just happen to get
the service. It's just rolled into the service,
whatever, because they have it already. You see what I'm saying? So they are actually providing you a physical service. A lot of people barely even use the shipping on there, but it's blown up over this year. Everybody's everything. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to get toilet paper, you might as well have Amazon Prime.
Facts.
That's the fact.
No lie there.
So the fact that so many people have Apple products, whether they phones, tablets, MacBooks, whatever they are, that iCloud storage, again, that now they're going to start, those things they can raise, like Google can do the same thing. Like Google wasn't charging for like their photos. Now they can start charging people for that storage for their photos. That's going to become a thing, right? And eventually, if they're smart, the people who are paying to continue to keep their storage on Google will just get Stadia for free.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what it is, right? Because we have a service, right? So we want people bought in. So it ends up being the same thing. Apple can just keep doing Apple TV because they make enough money to keep doing it. They do have people that do and or will pay for it. But if they can get you to pay for something else that really doesn't cost them anywhere near what they're saying, because they've been giving it to you for free for this long,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Now we're going to charge you for it.
To me, Apple has to justify whatever that they are charging people for using their service, because let's be real, there's not a lot of content on Apple TV right now. and the bulk of their service is just them piggybacking off of other services. Like if you want to watch some anime, well, yeah, if you wrap your Crunchyroll account into Apple TV, if you wrap this account or whatever other account that you're using into Apple TV, you can stream it. I was like, but why would I want to do that? I was like, I get why I want to do that, but it's just so confusing to do because it's like you got to go through their app and the other app just to get to the content to watch. Like if I wanted to watch something on Netflix, if I went through the Apple TV service, it's like I got to click them. Then I still got to go on my damn Netflix account just to click the thing I want to watch. I was like, no, y'all need to fix this. You
realistically,
because you're telling me all the stuff I can watch right now. These are the things that are available to you to watch. I still got to go back through that original app just to get to it.
I mean, here's the thing. If you have a physical Apple TV, right, which a lot of people do.
Somebody didn't steal today.
Right. Or that you did steal today. If you have a physical Apple TV, you know what I mean? And you have a TV that, I don't know, for whatever reason, doesn't. Bear in mind that there are some streaming services that are not available on other platforms. Like HBO Max isn't available through every streaming service. You know what I mean? There have been issues where like Roku and WB can't come to an agreement. Mm-hmm. So like you don't have it, right? But you can watch it through an Xbox. You can watch it through like LG TVs don't have HBO Max. They have Disney Plus. They don't have HBO Max, right? So like those kinds of deals still have to be done.
Right.
Apple is in a place now, though, where they're beginning to realize something that we talk about here all the time. You have to go where the people are. Mm-hmm. Right? So offering something that is like Apple TV and only offering it to the people who have Apple devices, not good enough. So what did they do? They signed a deal with Microsoft, and now you can watch Apple. You can sign in an Apple TV on an Xbox. Mm-hmm. That, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And in that same deal, somewhere in there, yes, xCloud is coming to iOS devices. It is what it is.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Going back to going where the people are.
Right. You got to go where the people are, right? And so, look, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, why would you leave? Mm-hmm. Even if you can come up with a good reason to leave, haven't you paid for content that's tied to an Apple account that you just can't do nothing else with?
Right.
That's what everybody wants. They want your data, and they want you tied to an account you're afraid to leave for any other reason, right? So if you've been downloading music, if you've been downloading TV shows, if you've been paying for a service, if you have any inclination that you have ownership over some kind of digital,
I'm going to say, like we talked about PlayStation Plus last week, how the fact that those free games, all that kind of stuff you get out of PlayStation Plus, once you cancel your subscription, you lose access to all those games. Yeah,
you don't have them anymore, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you're right, KB. I mean, but again, here's the thing: there are so many people that are already bought into that. Like in my household, I'm an Android Windows guy, but like all my kids have iPhones, iMacs. Like, that's what they want. Jokes will tell you, I was just in there trying to get an iMac fixed because my daughter's joint just stopped turning on, and Apple wanted $1,000 just to look at the joint.
They bugging.
Nah, and it wasn't even...
Jokes popped the battery out that joint, put the battery back in, it was like, yeah, now the joint fine. like, I'm just saying, right, Apple Music is on Android. Again, xCloud coming on their phones, that thing has to happen. Those are the kinds of things, right, that like, again, when they get you in an ecosystem, they don't want to let you go. There's a reason why Sony for a long time not only did all of their stuff with proprietary ports and inputs physically, cameras, whatever it was, right? Their own storage and memory and stuff like that, but they also created their own versions of files, which is the same thing Apple did, right? Apple had their own file format for music and so forth and didn't want to do MP3 like everybody else was doing, right? We want you in our ecosystem so that you can't leave our ecosystem, and you don't want to. You listen, KB, you're right. They are slowly but surely having to share their ball, but it's still their ball, and they still control so much
If you want it,
they control so much.
You're gonna pay that Apple money, whatever you want. If you wanna, they'll do agreement with you, but just know like that cut share that they're gonna get from it, you're gonna pay out for it.
Yeah, I mean, look, how long do you think it'll take? Like realistically, you can go to a store, buy a TV that is a Roku TV.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go buy a Roku. You can buy a TV. The TV has Roku built into it, right? Mm-hmm. Now, TV's been smart for a decade and a half, right? You've been able to do apps and so forth for however long. But Roku is like, we'll do a deal with the folks that make the TV. We'll just do your smart stuff for you. It's all built in. You don't have to worry about it. Roku is no longer concerned about selling you the little
boxes,
right? The little box.
Right. Because
it's just in the TV, right? So they've taken that option away from anybody else who wants to compete in the we'll sell you a box space.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how long before Apple makes that deal? How long before Apple makes that deal?
I'm actually surprised it hasn't happened.
Or LG or somebody and just says Apple TV is built into your TV.
Soon, very soon.
But you know what? No, because Apple actually has been working on that for a decade because supposedly they were supposed to release the television. I want to say it was either 2011, 2012. They was trying to do the same thing the televisions are doing now. They was trying to build something where everything was built in that you needed. You know, you had your computer, you had your iOS, all that stuff. They have been working on that for a while.
You're right. So think about it. So they're in a competition, and I want you to tell me, every TV out there that's a smart TV, whose software is it running on?
Windows.
Android.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, Android. What am I thinking about? Yeah.
Google put all this money into making Google TV so you can make a TV that wasn't a smart TV. Everybody's TV that's a smart TV is running Android. Period. So if you think that Apple, especially with Apple TV, isn't going to be looking to get into that space,
sadly mistaken.
They're selling you Apple TVs in order to keep you from using the smart options that are already on a TV you have that come from their competing company. That's how it works. We want you in our ecosystem. We need you.
We don't want you using anything else. And again, the problem is that when you look at their service, when you look at their Apple TV service, their Apple TV service is dependent on everyone else in order to use Apple TV.
And here's the thing. As much content, as much money as they have, they can create content that is specific and only works in Apple TV. But at some point, it makes sense for them to give that content to somebody else, right? Yep. Netflix makes tons of their own content. That's one of the reasons. That's a great reason to have Netflix. Yeah, there's plenty of other stuff, but everybody else is doing their own streaming services now and taking their content back.
Right.
Yep.
Right? So Peacock, I want my content back. We own The Office. You see what I'm saying?
That.
Like, as all that content goes away,
Peacock
you have to start looking at who owns the content already.
They didn't put all the Harry Potters. It's like they were on HBO Max. Now they are all on Peacock.
Yoink!
Really?
Right?
They just made that announcement a couple of days ago. They dropped a couple ads with it in there. All there.
That's literally where you have to be paying attention to who owns what. That's why you're starting to see these large conglomerates that own other conglomerates, right? Your Time Warners, right? Your AT&T that owns WB, that owns HBO and whatever. That's all one major entity, right? Including the comic books, the movies, the TV shows. All of that is under them, right? So same thing with Disney. Disney has this whole, they own everything, right? They own Fox, which means, sure, they own Marvel, and we think about that. But nah, dog, they own Die Hard. They own Predator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They own Aliens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much content they could be putting on Disney Plus. They're not, because they want to keep Disney Plus family friendly.
Right.
That's why Hulu is so important to them.
Because they can bring
That's
all that
why
stuff right over there.
That would be their way to finally build Hulu out. Because remember, Hulu was free back in the day. Hulu was one of the first.
It still is. It still is.
Wait. No, I'm talking about like. Okay, I understand what I'm saying. It still is. But remember, it was free to the point where everybody kind of looked at it as a novelty. It was just like, oh, that's cute. You can watch some old shows and then Hulu got smart real quick.
And then, that was because of Netflix.
Hulu really, really quick.
That was because of Netflix.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. we're leaving money on the table.
Here's the thing.
Came in knocking.
Realistically, it is the content that we love.
Right.
It is our pop culture content that is controlling what these folks do and where they try to spend their money, because they know we'll spend the money for the things that we love. They're going after our nostalgia. They're going after the product that we love, our pop culture stuff. Nobody cared about comic books when I was reading comic books when I was little. That wasn't important. Ooh. They might have tried to do a movie. They let some businessman do it who didn't know nothing about comics or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We run that now.
We grown now, yeah.
The biggest properties on the planets come from the stuff that we read, that we love, that we buy. The T-shirts, the hats, the books, the book bags, all the merchandise. That's all us.
See that Star Wars slate that Disney wrote out?
Cash cow in it.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus said, I'm on Hulu right now watching The Princess Bride. Listen. Yo. Look. My cousin Miriam said, yeah, it was free like Crackle. You know, the content's leaving Crackle.
Crackle. Good God.
But listen, Crackle is a Sony-owned property. Sony owns Crackle. Oh.
Yeah, give me 1 second, guys. Go ahead.
Always have. Can't be free but so long. They're just trying to get you into an ecosystem to hold on to you, right?
Right.
They get your money, and it's like, well, I own this product that's over here. If I go here, either I can't get the product anymore or I got to buy it again. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Which is why companies like Movies Anywhere step up, and they're like, yeah, if you got movies that you bought on this service and this service and this service, we got a joint you can just pull up on your TV and watch all your stuff. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, we giving you free movies just for linking your accounts with us.
There we go. Back to keep it in the same place.
Yep. Right. That kind of stuff, man. Like we're probably the ones who could guess what the next big thing is that's going to cause somebody to spend, I don't know, $500 million to have ownership over it so that they can draw us in. And they know they only have the rights to it for a year
or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 2 years. So they're going to spend the money to market it. They're going to spend the money to buy the rights to it. Netflix can't continue to do that anymore because the people who own it are going to want to take it back for their own services. That's all there is to it. And if you look at the kind of stuff they're doing, literally, like, what's Netflix's most successful show? It's like Stranger Things. That's all. That's our stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's our stuff. So you look at what Disney's doing. It's Star Wars and Marvel that are really holding them up. For all the Disney nostalgia and all the stuff they have, like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. If you signed up for Disney Plus because you wanted the live action Lion King, you played yourself.
Pretty much.
You played yourself.
Facts.
You played yourself. Correct. It is our buying power that is really where they are, right? And it's also because we have gotten to the point where those of us who are at these ages are now the people in control of it too. We're making the decisions. We're the executives and stuff like that. You know what was cool? GoBots.
The sad part of it still is the sad part of it still is the fact that the people that are our ages that are running this stuff, still the majority of them are white.
I mean, you're right. Listen, you're right. But they're also beginning to understand that our black dollars count too.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They've known that for a long time. That's not news.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's part of what it is. You know what I mean? Like, and it isn't just us. Like, it's inclusion as a whole, right? That you're starting to see that, like, there are folks out there that if they can see themselves in something, they come to it because because you can see yourself. Listen, I said it time and time again on this show. If you can't tell it, you don't already know. Spider-Man is my guy. Always has been.
Really?
But I would never necessarily tell you.
No idea.
Nobody. Listen. Anybody who ever asked me who my favorite, like, I never said Peter Parker. Mm-hmm. And I really believe that as a child, as a 3 or 4 year old, part of the thing that I really loved about Spider-Man was that you couldn't tell who he was. Anybody could be Spider-Man because he was really like the only hero that is completely covered from head to toe. Mm-hmm. So it was easy for me to see myself as Spider-Man. It just was. That's what it was. And I just
the way his character is modeled, he's modeled after the everyman. He has problems. Like, look, I got to pay rent this month, but I got to go stop running.
Exactly.
I got a job. I got to be at 4 o'clock.
Right. I mean, that's That's what it is. You're right. Netflix does have The Witcher, and that's cool. Again, that's us.
Yep.
That's our stuff. You know what I mean? Video game stuff that comes from pop culture to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, there's always been pop culture influences that have allowed people to make good money.
Mm-hmm.
Vampires and such. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always been stuff that's in that realm. Things like Terminator or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But what that stuff really means in the entire zeitgeist is so different now because we have so much control, because we have the spending dollars, and because we spend those dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. They're after our stuff. J. Robert Dean says companies are finally realizing that non-whites will spend more if they see more of themselves on screen and not just spot dropped characters, and that's super true.
I mean, Black Panther was proof of that. Period. You know, but
wasn't it though?
A lot of this we have to look at as well and ask, how much did the pandemic change a lot of plans for a lot of these shows and movies to be released? Because you got to think, you know, with what happened last year, it forced a lot of these companies to change their plans on a quickness, especially when it came to the idea of, we're going to take these movies and these things that we were going to only give to you in the theaters, and we're going to finally make them available for streaming. But you know, there's certain hoops of fire that you had to jump through, which for us as consumers, there's nothing wrong with that. This is something that we've seen coming for years. This is something I've seen coming for almost 20 years. It's just a matter of, what was it going to take for these things to happen? Because I remember taking a class in undergrad in communications where, you know, one of my professors was talking about way back when, we're going to see a day where, you know, we're going to make the actual movie theater obsolete. He said probably the only thing that's going to keep it from being obsolete is people enjoy the experience of actually going. Mm-hmm. But the reason for going is going to change.
Sure.
We didn't see a pandemic coming.
No.
But it changed things with the quickness, because, I mean, look at how many things we've gotten just in this past year that otherwise we would have had to go, you know, sit up in the theater to go watch, because the thing of it is, these companies had to do so. They had to pivot. They had to make that pivot quick. Like, we could either just completely shut down and lose money, or we could find a way to still entertain people while they're at home. Because, I mean, come back to it. Mulan was probably one of the worst perfect examples out there of how you're going to bring people onto a service, because as much as people were pissed at, you know, some of the politics behind what went in making Mulan, and then there were people that were pissed at the $30 price tag that they had to pay. But at the same time, think of this.
They paid it. But they paid it.
Yep. Right.
They paid it.
But the thing of it is, look at the breakdown though. $30 that you pay, if you pay for it at that time, you are a family of 6 people. Right. How much money did you save just paying that $30? Or if you waited a couple of months, because you can go watch it on Disney now for your subscription, which is basically for free.
Exactly.
You don't even have to pick up the Blu-ray. If you got Disney Plus service, you got
it. Yeah. So here's the thing. You got to keep in mind that, like, it also means that this kind of stuff will force regulations to change in terms of internet, who has it, who has access to it, what it costs, what they give it to you for. All that stuff is already starting to change. It has to change more because they know they need to get it in front of people. They have to get it in front of people who normally wouldn't have it or couldn't pay for it, or, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, right? So, and that extends your audience. That's
does. And
what
the thing of it is, the problem still is this too, is the fact that it's taking this pandemic to force change, because you got to look at it like this. You go to other countries, especially Far Eastern Asian countries, everybody has like faster accesses of internet. They may not have it the same way where it's like consumer friendly in the home, but they have a faster access of internet. We technically have slower speeds than the rest of the planet. And then the problem is, you still got areas in this country in rural areas, they don't have FiOS, or they don't even have anything above DSL. And it's crazy to think we're this far in with the internet. I mean, internet for public consumption now has been around for going on 35 years, and we're still way behind the curve as compared to the rest of the planet. But that's as far as access.
Yeah, that's a business and pricing structure thing in America that we're not gonna get into right now because we can't. That's what that is. That's a business and pricing structure thing that, you know. Hey, Marcus, listen. Digital is the way to go. Let me tell you something. I have so much crap on hard disk, so many DVDs, so many Blu-rays. You can't even. My record collection. I don't know if you know what those are.
That's these little black shiny things.
Circular. They go on a record player, and you put a needle on the record, and when it goes around,
it makes music.
My record collection is crazy. You have those. I mean, no, you have your mother's. I have those. Like you don't have those. I mean, you can get them now. You might have something new.
Some new. They still make them now. They made a comeback.
Not a lot of the rest of the planet. Here's the thing, though. What up, D? Real talk. Mark said, "I got a turn. You got a turntable? What? It got a CD burner on it too? Hey, listen, telecom conglomerate ain't running dark fiber to rural Arkansas. Yeah, not happening. Mm-hmm. Country's too big to service 4 customers in the woods, and that's a real thing, right? But they got satellite, right? And they can get pretty good. But again, 5G is the thing that's going to make the difference. Mm-hmm. Yep. That is what companies like Microsoft are waiting on with xCloud and all that kind of stuff. That's what's going to allow something like Stadia to take off. That's why they're allowing you. You got a phone? Or you pay for service? Mm-hmm. Or we'll give you Disney Plus for free. You can have that for a year. You can have whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the kinds of things that are being forced. You know what I mean? As far as that change is concerned. And yes, the pandemic has a lot to do with that. But 5G was coming regardless. Yeah. 5G was coming regardless of what the pandemic was doing. You know what I mean? Like that was already going to be a thing. And that was going to give people the kind of internet speeds in places where they wouldn't be able to run lines underground to give them faster internet. So it was bound to happen. Now's the time. You know what I mean? Give it to this time next year, and it'll be a different story. You know what I mean? Like it just will be. And so many more people will have access that right now what they're vying for is the market share. Mm-hmm. They're vying for the market share because if they can get you now, they can hold on to you. And if they get you now and they lose you, your data is still important enough that they can sell it to whoever has you. Mm-hmm. That's just way to bring you back. Yeah. That's what it is, right? They can sell it to who, you know what I'm saying, whoever has you. You know what? Stop it, Greg. You just stop it. Listen. No. Listen. Hey, I want you to do me a favor. Let's talk about the Geek Spot real quick because we need to start closing out. I want you to talk about the Geek Spot real quick. Tell me about it. Tell us what it is. Tell people where they can go find it, how they can get in. They got to fill out like a questionnaire. You know what I mean? We don't play no game. Not everybody's getting in here.
Well, it's really simple because this is something I wanted to keep in just one place because, hey, I work. You know, I got things to do. So, you know, I have a couple of people on my team that just kind of help me keep it going. Literally, you go to Facebook, you can Google it, and you will run across the Facebook page, and you will run across the group. It's just something that we do. Initially, it started off as for cosplay, but realizing cosplay was just one small microcosm of geekdom, you know, we decided, hey, we wanted to broaden it out for everybody because they're different, you know, people from different walks of life that do everything when it comes to geekdom. So it's, you know, right now, of course, because it's February, it's 28 Days of Black Cosplay. So, you know, we've been trying to feature that, and I've been also trying to get my photography work, you know, running along with that on that spot. So yeah, if you just simply type in the Geek Spot and it's Spot SPOTTE, you'll run across the group. You'll run across the.
It's right there for everybody.
It's in the chat now, so anybody who wants to go, y'all just click on the link in the chat. Go follow the Geek Spot. They
right, and the main reason why I'm not trying to like put it out there, like I said, I just want to keep it in one spot because the thing of it is like I noticed like I had other projects that I've done before. I had a website, then I had to have a Facebook page, then I had to have a Facebook group, then I had to do Instagram, and it was a lot to keep up with. I'm not trying to stress myself out that much anymore. This is something that's just more casual, more laid back. You know, if people want to just come chat about whatever's the latest thing going on, that's what it's there for.
I dig it. I appreciate that. Y'all make sure y'all check out the Geek Spot. Y'all make sure y'all go follow Bishop Cosplay on Instagram, Bishop Cosplay on Facebook. Y'all check out his cosplay work. His wife does some brilliant work putting those cosplay outfits and so forth together.
Now.
So y'all make sure y'all check that out. Also, make sure you check out the Eyes of H. AITCH. Right? H.
Eyes of H with the letter H. Eyes of H _photography and Instagram, and through the Eyes of H on Facebook. AITCH on Facebook. Really quick, if I may jump into, I'm not sure how much time we got left, but I want to make this quick.
Go ahead.
The main thing, folks,
this month
is 28 Days of Black Cosplay. Meaning, if you cosplay, if you know someone that cosplay, make sure you get their pictures out. The reason why this exists, the way it exists, is what I was speaking about earlier. It's for people out there that's always been afraid to cosplay, that needed inspiration, that needed to see us in those spaces. You guys get to see us. But more importantly, especially for you folks out there that cosplay, right now there's no cons. That doesn't mean you still can't get stuff done. And this is part of the reason why I do what I do when it comes to photography, is because a lot of us that go through the whole 10 yards of putting some of these amazing costumes that you're putting them together, don't wait for a con to get your pictures taken.
Correct.
Especially if you want them professionally done. You spent a couple $1,000s and a couple 1,000 hours on getting this brilliant costume together. Get someone to go out with you, get pictures of it, get some really nice pictures of it. Because honestly, that's what I spent part of last year doing. You know, It was a bit of a struggle because, again, there's a pandemic going on. So, you know, had to take some time, had to readjust. But they got done. And the thing of it is, folks, quite frankly, don't be afraid to pay your photographer. You pay for everything else. You pay for a hairdresser, you pay for a doctor, you pay for a plumber. You know, that person that's out there with his camera, they've invested time, money, and education to get your pictures look good. This is not something that everyone can just, I'm gonna pick up a camera and do. I had to take classes. I had to take courses. I'm still technically taking courses because every time I want to do something new, I'm asking somebody. I'm asking.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely right.
Because there's so much to it. And the equipment
ain't cheap.
The equipment ain't cheap, especially on the lenses. The camera bodies themselves, like you can get an inexpensive body for maybe $1,000, but that lens I might attach to it might cost twice as much.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, look, H, I appreciate you being with us tonight.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yes, you're right, J. Robert Deans. Anyone can take a photo, but portraits take training. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
Absolutely right. Super
you ain't gonna take the portraits.
Yep, no doubt. So check it out. We have a tendency to have tons of creatives that watch the show, join the show, jump in the chat. You know, when you folks are in the chat, if it'll let you, sometimes it gives us a little bit of a hard time. Feel free to drop your pages and so forth. Again, part of what we're trying to do right now is the same way, you know, H is talking about 28 days of cosplay, black cosplay. We're trying to just highlight black creators as a whole. Next month, realistically, we're gonna do Women's History Month. We're gonna have a lot of women on the show, you know, with us. We just think it's super important to give credence to all people, who create, who spend their money doing what we do and love what we do. We just want to make sure everybody has a place, has a forum, and we got a little bit of a stage. We like putting people on it. So real talk, there's a lot of folks in there. Look at who's in the chat with you. Go search them out. A lot of the folks in the chat are creatives. They write books, they draw pictures, they do artwork, they create and write. I mean, y'all check it out. Miriam is a cousin of mine. She's got a meetup, Black Film. Join the group. Y'all click on it. Follow J. Robert Deans. My man's a great creator, brilliant guy, funny most of the time. His opinions are okay.
Hey, and let me say this too.
On some movies.
Let me say this. If you got creators in the group, if there's something out there you always wanted to do, reach out to those people. Just like Gage saying, reach out to them, ask questions, figure out how to do stuff. Because the thing of it is, I look at it like this. You know, there have been people out there have been saying, with this pandemic, everybody should come out this with some kind of new hustle. Not necessarily a new hustle, but you should come out there out of this finding out something about yourself that you never found out before.
Come out with new knowledge. Yeah.
Because the thing of it is, like, I've already been doing photography. But one of the things I started doing to further myself is I started making a list of things that I actually wanted to do, because I realized in this situation, I can't always shoot people.
Right.
So there are other things that I can do. I got a list right now of like 40 things, little projects that I want to do this year for myself to expand my photography.
Right.
So if you want to write something and you've never written before, talk to somebody. If you need to figure out how to take your artistry to another level,
reach out. Right.
And there are plenty of places that offer free courses online.
No doubt.
I'm 100.
No doubt. There's a lot of
True. Invest in those if you have the time to do so, especially if they're free.
Yeah.
Absorb them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, Marcus is in our chat consistently.
Dog.
My man's like, we Kickstarter on Sunday. We doing our own comic book. How come I don't know this, Marcus?
I know you haven't said anything about a new comic book to us. You didn't talk about everything else. It's comic book left field now.
Marcus, I know you since you was a little child. How come I don't know this? Good. Do I have a link? Give me a link. Do something. We can talk about it on the show next week. You know what I'm saying? Give me a link next week. At least it'll be live then.
Yeah. Hey, you want support your done? Go on your website. Let me know.
There it is. If you need somebody to help put a Kickstarter video together, that's a thing. We do Loading Snacks. That's a real thing. We've had pretty solid success. You want to talk to our producer K, man? That's real. That's on everything. Look, y'all in the chat, make sure you follow each other. Folks have Twitch channels. They got Facebooks. They have like following each other and being supportive of one another is what we're all about here. So y'all make sure y'all do that. Marcus, I need you to send me a link. I need a link to the Kickstarter. I need that information. You need to send that to me. Frosty Britches, J. Roberts hates cute animals like Rocket Raccoon.
I believe it.
I can't deny that. That doesn't surprise me at all. Not even in the slightest. Like, he draws cute things, but doesn't like Rocket at all. Yeah, Marcus, shoot me that info. I need to have that. It's been on the Arcana Legends. My dog. But you on Loading Snacks joint right now, bro. What you doing? You feel me? Show me what I need to have. On that note, Jokes.
Yo.
You have a job to do. I'm gonna have you do yours before I have Sin do his.
Oh, word. So you gonna get me ready.
See, switch up. You wasn't ready for that.
I wasn't ready for that. No, I
wasn't. So you get that link up for us. Joe's gonna put our link tree up. Again, our link tree makes it so you can hit that one thing and you can find all of our links for everything. So hit the link tree. Follow us everywhere. If you're following us in one spot, follow us everywhere else, man. We even got a TikTok. And look, if enough of y'all follow, I might dance. I might.
Hey, they do got the Marvel. They do got that Marvel joint now with the whole thing on it. So,
hey, listen, that's not enticing me at all.
That may be the one. Maybe that's the one.
Nah, but for real, y'all, hey, listen, if we get enough, I might go ahead and I'll do the silhouette challenge. What's up? No, I'm not doing that. But hey,
we just certain donations on Extra Life.
Hey,
listen, I know got a TikTok.
Get an Extra Life donations silhouette challenge.
That's it.
Oh God, we already got for Extra Life. Oh God.
He said make him dance. Like
dance vomit.
Hey, real talk. I'm fired though on my feet though. Real talk. So listen. Next week on Tuesday, our regular day for Loading Snacks Weekly, we're doing a very special version of it. We are essentially doing a Black History program. So Jokes, if you could get that image up for me, I'd appreciate it.
Gotcha.
Here's what's popping off. Show will be long, sort of like this one was. we're having several folks join us. This was something that really the idea for this was brought up by Henry Brooks, who does some really, really dope art.
I'm gonna really throw this up in everybody's face, so it's just gonna be right smack in the middle of the screen. Boom.
You'll see Immortal Fire. Yes, this is the thing with Henry J. Roberts. So Immortal Fire is his company, and he does like these dope etched. So this is a piece that he did. He burns the images into wood. So this is a piece that he did.
Okay, do I have my?
I'm gonna say you got the piece he did for us.
I do. I'm about to grab it. He does portraits.
I don't think I got my necklace on me right now.
Like this, he did this for us. So, Henry Brooks, Immortal Fire, Pyrography, I believe is the name of what he does. Thanks for sending that to me, Marcus.
That's about right.
Mm-hmm. And so this was something that he kind of came up with and reached out to us. We will be, he'll be with Comic Logic, who is helping to support us doing this thing. We're gonna have some folks on, who are some dope artists. Magic Mike will be joining us. A couple of the guys who do the Tuskegee Airs comic will be joining us. And really the conversation we're gonna have, we will talk about some of the regular stuff we talk about on the show, but the conversation will be about being Black creatives, the importance of inclusion, things that we want to see change, changes that we've already seen happen, at a base local level, but also at a higher industry level. So I really think it's going to be a great, important, and powerful conversation. We have some really great folks lined up to join us. We'll be starting at 8:30, like our normal time, but the show will be a little bit different. So everybody who can jump in, y'all come in and check us out. Henry is awesome. Really, really great dude. Listen, J. Roberts, I saw you promoting your Patreon. What are you, 5 years, 6 years for your Patreon? I can't remember what it was, but I know it was something like that. Again, super dope. J. Robert Deans. Make sure y'all check him out. Follow him. Check out his Patreon. Y'all can follow us on Patreon too. It's in that link tree. So that's what's happening Tuesday. This Thursday, tomorrow we'll be back to our regular scheduled. We're talking video games. That's what we do on Thursday. Yep. Friday we'll be on Twitch at 8 p.m. What are y'all playing? Destiny.
Destiny. Jumping back in.
Okay. So they're jumping back into Destiny on Friday. For Twitch. And then again, next Thursday, we'll be doing the same thing. We'll be right back at it. So we'll be talking gaming again. So I think that's everything. Did I get everything?
The last episode of Valentine's Day Anime Vote drops tomorrow, which is Love is War. For tomorrow, that's the finale.
Love is War.
Love is War is the finale.
Every year, Sin checks out like 4 solid animes that are relationship or love-based anime just to see if they're good anime for Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. Usually we do them throughout the month. We decided this year we need to try to get them all out before Valentine's Day hits. So the first year are already out. Yes. You go to our YouTube page, or if you check out our Facebook, they're there. Yes. You can go and you can check out the 3 that are already there. And then the new one drops tomorrow, 10 a.m.
10 a.m., yes.
All right. There's also Anime Chat. So feel free to jump in. Loading Snacks we have a spot specifically if people want to get in and talk anime. We have an Anime Chat.
Yep, and that Attack on Titan thread is bubbling right now. That spoiler thread is bubbling. Right, yeah,
Attack on Titan fire. That's why.
We also have a wrestling chat. So there is a Loading Snacks LS wrestling chat. Y'all make sure y'all search that out. We had a great conversation last week. About the Royal Rumble.
Ellis in
that
the
went
chat.
really well. Appreciate
Dr. D.
Ellis being on there, Marcus being on there. That was pretty dope. And then we also have MCU chat, which is on fire right now.
Link. Hold up. Let me get you
here's the thing. We created MCU chat.
Just throw them all in there.
To be able to go to talk about things that are happening in the MCU. We wanted to carve out our own little niche on the internet, on Facebook.
And that bad boy blew up.
Check out MCU chat. what we've also done there is we have carved out spaces. Threads H. Marcus is asking what's your name on Facebook again. So Jokes, if you can put that back up once we get back in.
All right, we streaming again, so that don't should pop up in a second.
Yeah, and I was about to say what I'll do. I need to hop in your groups tonight, so you point me to the right place. I'll drop all my links when I hop on.
Hey, listen, that's perfect. Jokes, if you put up, you know, we should just put a link, the MCU chat in the link tree. That's what we need to do. We need to do that. Yeah. So again, for anybody who's back,
I'll send you guys everything. I'll send you all my Facebook pages and my IG pages, and that should be good.
Look, H, for real, if you go into the video on our Facebook and just go into the thread, you can drop everything there too if you want to.
All right, yeah, I'll do that.
That'd be cool. Marcus, we got you. We'll make sure that we get you H's information, for sure. Again, y'all make sure y'all follow us everywhere. We on Twitch. We on if it's a thing, chances are we on.
We on there probably.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? First Loaded Snacks. We learn. You got to be where the people are. Yes. Ellis disconnected. Listen, Ellis. Honestly, it's Joke's fault.
Dog. Look, Wayne Tech, they figured it out. It ain't Gage that they need to mess with. It's me. So now that they figured it out, it's a wrap now.
Wayne Tech garbage. Listen, real talk. Again, we appreciate everybody who has been in the chat tonight. Y'all have been awesome. I want to thank you again, H, for joining us. This has been great. Woo. So happy to do that. We have to get ourselves out of here because I think we're going to play Grand Theft or something like that. We got some money to make. So I think that's what's getting ready to happen now. Y'all check us out everywhere. We all over the place. With that, we're out. Toodles and loos.
Deuces, y'all.
What it do, snackers and snackettes? Did you like what you just saw? Would you like to help us grow? Here's what you can do. Shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform of choice. Appreciate you.